Welcome back to another video from the Debate Room podcast. We are coming to y'all after the Lakers have got eliminated in 5 games. Game came down to the wire. Timberwolves shot the ball terribly, but Rudy Gobert stayed today. Damn near 30 points and 20 rebounds. Had his best game of his career in the closeout game. So legacy defining game for Rudy Gobert. But before we get into that, make sure you guys like the channel, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and follow us on our social media platforms up at the top of the screen. Do that right now. We're about to get into it. Before we do that, though, Max, I want to tap in with you because you haven't been on the podcast in a long time, or in a minute, and you just finished your third year of college. So, how was finals and how you feeling?
Good grades. I had a test on Tuesday that I thought I bombed, but I actually did a lot better than I thought. But Michigan gets out of school so early compared to everyone else, it feels like. So class were good, finals were good, but yeah, it's been hectic for the last 2 weeks trying to get everything ready, get it packed up and shit. So I've missed a lot. And I feel like I've missed a lot of basketball too. After the Thunder won, I've been trying to look at different series, but I've been so focused on trying to study and pack my shit up. I can't lie, I've not been locked in on the series. But I don't know. Next round looks interesting, I think. The one series obviously I'm still locked in on is the Clippers and Denver. I want to see what OKC's got next. But obviously today, big implications later down the line. Hopefully if OKC can make the Western Conference Finals. Got to be looking out for teams like Minnesota or Houston again who won today. We'll see what happens with that one with Houston and Golden State. But
Houston is comedy.
Crazy. I ain't gonna lie.
They're not. That's not. They're not winning that series. But even if they did, y'all would probably sweep them.
that's fine. I agree.
How you feeling, Q?
I'm all right, man. It's about to be a long summer. I'm gonna tell you that. It's gonna be a long.
I'm ready to get out of school and get more free time to do content for sure. And we still got a lot of NBA playoff basketball left, so it's gonna get real interesting. But let's get to it.
Let's get into it.
Timberwolves ended the Lakers season in 5 games. This series went completely different than a lot of people expected. The majority of people who picked the Lakers to win the series, they were the favorites coming in, and I wouldn't say the series was lopsided because it was 3 games that came down to the clutch. It was 3 games that came down to the clutch, but I do feel like Minnesota, in hindsight now, is just clearly the better team. And I'll get into that in my soliloquy, but Q or Max, Max preferably, because we've heard from Q pretty recently on this series. Well, since Max is going, Q, what was your overall takeaway from this series and just the closing game?
I had the same we had the same synopsis of the series. The outcomes, we both had the same outcomes. If we was, I'm not gonna say being smart because it's not like it's dumb to pick Luke and LeBron, but if we was really just taking it for what it is without thinking about LeBron, Luka, probably one of the best dudes, whatever it may be, we would have picked the Timberwolves. Their roster they basically had 8 of the 10 best players in the series. Austin Reeves, it looked good coming down the stretch. He's a glorified 6-man. You know what I'm saying? And that's basically the third best player in the Lakers. The team just did not match up. Rudy Gobert just had a 20-20 game. Usually gets played off the court in the playoffs. It's just the Lakers don't have the horses to be even trying to play anybody off the floor. They don't have the requisite defenders. They don't have the shooters. They don't got the IQ players. I saw Rudy do a whole bunch of nonsense on the back end on defense, he was guarding nobody. That was in the clutch. The team is just not there yet. Rob Pelinka, he's gonna have a long summer. He's gonna have to put the proper pieces around Luka. Luka also gonna have to get in the gym, shed some weight, get better because Austin Reeves taking Rudy Gobert out the dribble. You should be able to do the same thing without doing that same dumbass step back. Excuse my language. It hurts, but it's this roster wasn't built for Luka this year. It's a next 10 years type of thing. After this season, that's when you're gonna really get the real Luka Lakers team. but clearly Minnesota's a better team. And from game 1 to game 4 was amazing. Not so good game 5, but that's neither here nor there. He rises in the playoffs every year, like I said last time. Like every year, he just gets better. He gets better at one thing. This time, like he came in, bad playmaker, average playmaker, and he was making better reads this playoffs. He just get better. I think they're gonna cruise to their second round matchup. They're on a collision course with OKC, who they are a good matchup against. Whether they win or lose, that's up in the air. But I think they're easily gonna go to the Western Conference Finals again.
Max, what you see from this game, in particular, and just the series overall? Because I know you also picked. We all picked. I think we all picked the Lakers. I
I
don't think
think I
anyone.
had the Lakers in 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely underestimated Minnesota, but my fears did come true with the Lakers long term. Just a lack of talent on this roster, a lack of defense, especially, is what I've been trying to harp on this entire year. Again, Rudy going for 24 and 27, just nasty. The wing defenders. It's just, again, I agree with what we've kind of talked about with this team, that it was kind of thrown together last second because of the Luka trade, right? The Luka trade kind of makes his team obviously different than what it was at the start of the year as far as trajectory and as far as your timetable. And you fortunately don't have the looming clock of winning with LeBron and AD anymore. There is a life after LeBron, and you have life to go build up with Luka. So Pelinka's got this summer, which is very, very important, to put a competent team around the both of Luka and LeBron, while also trying to keep in mind that LeBron will be out in 2, 3, 4 years. So who else can you build around Luka with going forward? Minnesota's been a weird team for me all year. I feel like I still have not been able to get a read on that team. Early on in the year, it looked clunky. It didn't look like it worked. Julius Randle didn't. I don't know if he really fit on that team. But again, in spurts now, they're the 6th seed in a competitive West, and they just sent the Lakers home in 5, winning two games in LA. So obviously, this Minnesota team is legit. Anthony Edwards is a playoff riser currently. He plays good playoff basketball. So I think that I'll be curious to see them going forward. I would like to be on a collision course with them. I'd be interested to see that series. I think it'd be two styles. I think that they play obviously slower than we do. Rudy Gobert and Julius Randle kind of play slower basketball than I think we would. So I think it'd be a kind of a clash of styles, obviously. But yeah, I mean, definitely didn't go the way I thought it would go for this series. I definitely over accounted for LeBron and Luka versus the kind of overall built team of Minnesota. But I don't know. I kind of like the little Minnesota Luka rivalry. That's not a rivalry, but it is kind of. But I don't know. Last 2 years they matched up against each other, and again, Ant and Luka will just continue to be on a course against each other the whole time. But yeah, great series by the Timberwolves.
I ain't gonna lie. I feel like when I was really like analyzing this series, a lot of the reasons that I talked about with the Timberwolves potentially winning, it came true. I just didn't pick them. What I thought, the reason I feel like they weren't going to win is because I feel like the Lakers will load up on Ant, force him to be a playmaker, and then the Wolves' offense could crumble outside of that. And they did do that, load up on Ant, forcing him to be a playmaker, but their execution of it was terrible. When they sent doubles, the rotations on the back end were terrible. And Austin Reeves and Luka, they just provided nothing as far as like actually stopping them from getting to the paint. They conceded driving lanes every single time down the floor. The Wolves were able to get good shot after good shot after good shot, and they were knocking them down. And that theory of loading up and playing junk defenses and playing to the defenses is cool when you have players that give effort. 1, 2 are good rotators, and when you have a bit of size on the interior. And the Lakers just didn't have any of that in this series. The rotations were lazy, and also they were just not a deep enough team at all. When I was analyzing this series, I said Minnesota is the faster, more athletic, deeper team with a better defense. But I focused on the fact that down the stretch of games, I wanted to trust Luka and LeBron more down the stretch of games. And we see in this series, the Wolves won 3 clutch games. This series was 1 in 5 games, but 3 of the games came down to the wire. And Minnesota won all 3 of those, which I don't think really anyone would have predicted coming into the series. So I think Minnesota in this series proved that they are the much better team. They were the much better team. They're more athletic. They have more depth. They're younger. They're faster. And they have a better defense. They're also they definitely have a better coach too as well. JJ is good, but he still needs a lot more experience. So it kind of showed this game too. I mean, I know Jackson Hayes was terrible in this series, but playing Maxi Kleber before him, I don't know. That kind of I really don't know. I really don't know because Maxi Kleber hasn't played since January 25th. Just throwing him out there in the fire is crazy. In Game 5, the Timberwolves missed 18 straight threes, and it didn't matter because the Lakers are so devoid of depth, and they're so devoid of size, and they're so devoid of point-of-attack defense that Rudy Gobert dropped 30 and 20 basically in a closeout game. This team is probably a few years away. I don't think they're going to be in contention. They're not going to be in contention next year either, I don't think. This roster needs a lot of work, and I really don't trust Rob Pelinka to do that at all. He just got extended off the back of getting Luka. That's pretty much why he got extended. But Rob Pelinka is the most average GM that there is in the NBA. He has some really good moves and he has some really terrible moves. And this roster needs a lot of work. They need more point-of-attack defense. They need a center, which center is one of the hardest commodities to get. They're not just good starting centers just walking around out here. They're really not. There are probably maybe 10 to 15 actual good quality impact centers in this league. So they have a tall task. You muted Q.
I'm gonna say there's only one on the market that actually fits with Luka's scheme, like the way Luka likes to play.
Who's that?
Whether Clint Capella, he's a free agent. Whether he's a quality starting center or not, if he could.
They try to get Claxton, in my opinion. They try to get Claxton if they can.
I'm just saying, if whatever Gafford, Lively, Clint Capella, right now today, pretty almost the same level of player. Obviously, there's upside for Lively, Gafford, Clint Capella, they're the same level of player. I mean, so it's not the greatest of quality big, but he still fits the mold that Luka like to play with.
Yeah, as we sit today, this team is not optimized around Luka Doncic. And Luka has his flaws for sure. He definitely needs to address them this offseason. But this team doesn't have a rim runner as far as getting to the paint. They don't have a good screen setter at all. They don't have enough wing defenders, and they don't have enough shooting. Also, have to note, Austin Reeves was terrible in the series. He didn't handle physicality well at all. And a lot of his production in the regular season comes from drawing fouls. And they did not give him whistles in the series, and his production dropped off immensely. And it was very, very apparent that he was not ready for this. He's had some up and down playoff play in his career. I think his first year he was really good. Last year he struggled a bit in some series. And this year he was just terrible. As far as LeBron, he's clearly lost a step. I mean, LeBron is a GOAT, bro. But again, like I said earlier before coming to this playoffs, he's 40. I'm not really expecting that much out of him at this point in his career. And I think it was apparent this year, to be honest. He had a really good stretch, I think around January and to begin the new year, where he was playing amazing on offense. He was giving you some really great defense too. But, I mean, he's clearly lost a step. He can't get to the paint like he wants to. He couldn't really Julius Randle was playing pretty good defense on him too. Didn't really take advantage of Rudy Gobert. So I mean, I think LeBron has clearly lost a step in his career. He hasn't been able to be the best player on the championship team in a few years, I would say. He was a 1B situation where I feel like he probably get it done. But yeah, I don't know, man. I think LeBron probably I don't know if he might decide to retire after next year. Maybe do a farewell tour. You don't think he does a farewell tour next year?
No. I think he opts out of his option. They have to.
That's a real question. How long does LeBron have left in his career? Do we think?
Here's the thing, LeBron.
Max, you're muted.
I just said retires.
He's never going to be bad. Like, he's never going to be not an all-star level player. Like, he's not going into next year. He's going to go into next year, still average around 25 points per game and still be an all-star next year. Like, he's never going to be – when he leaves out, he's not going to be a 12-point per game scorer. That's just never going to happen. So we waiting for the such and such decline. We're gonna have to watch him walk out of the league averaging 25 points per game. Like, that's just gonna happen. Whether he's if you want to say he's like the third best player on the championship team at 42 years old, fine. But it's not like he's going to be a bad player. He's not bad. Like, he was 23, 8-8 on 60% shooting in the series right just now. Obviously, it's not the same level of impact, but he was clearly the third best player at worst in this series. Like, that's cool to say when you're on the court with two players that are 15 years younger than him.
I'll say retires.
You think he was better than Randall?
That's up in the air. We just want to disagree on that, but you split hairs.
I'll say 43 or 44. It's like I think when he's gonna retire because you got Bryce, and again, if he was trying to do the same thing with Brian, he's got like 3 years trying to get that
44 max. So that's like 4 more years.
That's 3 more years, bro.
He's 40 right now. I think
3 more years, bro. He's not playing 3 more years. I don't think he's gonna play 3 more years.
Why? Because you think he's not going to be good?
No, I think he doesn't like. I don't think LeBron has anything else to prove anymore.
Yeah, if it's based off playing basketball, he's not going to be. He's going to go out. He's going to go out being a good all-star level player. If it's off of he don't want to wake up and do all the training anymore on some Aaron Donald, like, I could still be an all-star, all-NBA, all-pro in this league. I just don't care to do this whole rigmarole every 82 game season plus playoffs. It'll be because he don't want to do it no more. Not
I think LeBron's going to retire when he feels like he can't win another championship, and it's going to take time to get this roster to a championship level roster. It's probably going to take 2-3 years. So I think he'll probably retire in the next 2 to 3. I think
it doesn't. If it's 2 to 3 because Rob Pelinka is not a good GM. If he just suddenly became a great GM, or like he got some type of consultant and somebody helped him figure it out, it'd take a year. Like a year and some change from now, there'd be a competent level team. Provided LeBron opt out, take that pay cut, they shop Reeves, see what they could do, even though his value kind of took a hit in his playoffs. Whatever you could do would just get a good front line and get some more two-way wings. That's 3 players. They need 3 players and they fine, in my opinion. But like not 3 any random players, but 3 actual like good rotational players. That's the problem. They don't got the 3 through 8 that you need to be a championship team. Like, you got to move DFS down 1. You got to move Rui down 1. You probably just need to get rid of Rui. Period. But all those dudes, they got to get shifted down 2 spots. Like, DFS can't be your 5th best player. He has to be your 7th. And then you fill in the role from there, and that's it. It's hard, easier said than done. Obviously, Rob Pelinka is not a great GM, but if they get some type of consultant, they could definitely do it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Rudy was pretty solid in a few of these games. Kept him in the game, especially last game too.
Defensively, he doesn't have the IQ.
Yeah, no, I ain't gonna lie, bro.
He should be a good defender. I don't know why he's like
he was
all the tools to be a good defender. He's just not.
It was one of the plays down the stretch of the games where Julius Randle was driving in 3 seconds and he like fakes over like he's about to help and just goes back. Like, what are we doing, bro? It's 3 seconds left on the shot clock. Yeah, his feel on defense is really concerning. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, this Lakers team I think is a bit away from competing for a championship, especially with OKC in the conference. Minnesota isn't going anywhere. And Denver's still there. Like Spurs is gonna be on the come up pretty soon. So yeah, I think LeBron will retire when he feels like he can't win a championship anymore. And I really don't think he has trust in this organization to put him there. But he definitely will get his flowers. It's just weird though. I don't know because Luka already went through like a farewell tour type of thing with Dirk. I don't
I'll
know.
say this: since
He's a rookie though.
he's had with this Luka Doncic team, he's been here. It's been 4 months. Well, not even. It's been 3 months, and like you said, these games came down to the last 5 minutes of the game, like clutch time, and like in those type of situations, obviously you would want to trust Luka and LeBron, but like since they have to do so much quarters 1 through 3, they're gassed at the end, especially if they're playing 40 minutes a night, which is that's regular playoff basketball, but they've been doing that since March, doing that type of thing, just like playing the same 7, same 8 at most. So they were already dog tired trying to get into try to lock in that 3 seed. Anyway, if you if you give a whole all season, Luka there with LeBron in the off season, they work. He's going off injury this year. He was in and out of the line. He didn't play like regular Luka basketball this whole year. He's basically been hurt and overweight. He basically had to come back and like recondition himself. He just comes in conditioned this year because he's with LeBron, and it's like that's his idol. That's LeBron, little man. They work together, come in. Luka literally by himself, without like all-star LeBron, he could probably carry the Lakers offensively through the regular season. That'll give LeBron some rest. They, like I said, get the pieces around. Say it's a Claxton, at worst a Capella, get a Bruce Brown, something like that. Another little wing. Then we see what you got from there. I think he wants to give LeBron a full year to actually see what happens, see what moves be made. Then he got like a clear picture whether they can win a championship or not. But like I don't think this one season that's like a series of bad sign. It's just clear the roster not there yet.
Are you guys are comfortable like obviously looking for trade options for Austin Reeves?
I don't. Reeves is
if
a
I-
glorified 6-man on any
Yeah,
on
no,
good teams. He's a 6-man.
I know. I heard you earlier. I'm just saying, like, if the trade comes about, you have like no issue trading.
If I get 3 solid players, like I'd still go back to that Utah well. If you give me Walker Kessler, Jordan Clarkson,
Sure.
and whatever,
Sure.
I give you the first round pick. You could have Reeves. Or you
Some
could have
role pieces. Yeah.
I mean, Jordan Clarkson and Reeves.
You have to add more, but if you did like Claxton and some pieces from Brooklyn too. But yeah.
Brooklyn wants to. If the ideal thing would be getting Cam Johnson and Nick Claxton for Brooklyn for whatever, but the Lakers just don't have the pieces to even go get.
I mean, Cam Johnson would just
be enough to get one of those.
Cam Johnson would just be good to take the money off Brooklyn's books, but
next.
Yeah, I mean, Austin Reeves is just pretty hard to trade because his contract is so low. Like, he had to be like I think included in a bigger deal to actually get like a valuable piece back because like the players making Austin Reeves money there, which is worse than him. So it's like you can't even trade a player straight up. You gotta have him in a part of a deal. But I do have a Anthony Edwards. Would you rather? I mean, it's obviously time. Considering, I guess he left him over.
Cam Johnson still got 2 years left on his deal.
Yeah, it's gonna be a weird offseason.
20 not that bad. I ain't gonna lie.
All right, I got a would you rather Anthony Edwards edition. The first name up is Jason Tatum.
Jason Tatum.
Like it's hot. Jason Tatum is still like, I know like he's like the most complete player, quote unquote. Like he's just very well rounded, and that kind of gets overvalued a lot. But like everything else outside of like, I think Anthony Edwards is a better like pure scorer than basketball. I think everything else, Jason Tatum is just better than Anthony Edwards at, and he still gives you the same offensive output.
I think I can be part of the group that shits on Tatum for having an easy ass team to look good in, but Jason Tatum's a damn good basketball player and has been for a long time. Yeah, I think all around defensively, creation, just his portability as well. I like what I've seen from Tatum more.
I'm gonna take Jason Tatum. I mean, I said this earlier on my Twitter, like yesterday. It got like a some decent traction. I don't know why, but I think Tatum is a more complete basketball player. I think he's a more versatile basketball player. Well, I do think Anthony Edwards has an argument as a better scorer than Jason Tatum. I think Tatum just impacts the game in so many ways, and when he's on as a scorer, like the past 3 games he's been on, he's one of the best players in the league. Like when Tatum is like Tatum is playing at the level he's playing, like that's like when Tatum is playing at the level he's played the last 3 games, he's probably like a top 3-4 player. Like he goes from 5 to like top 3-4 when his jump shot is falling.
Yeah, so let it not be understated. Tatum last year basically played point center for the Lakers. I mean, for the Celtics, like he was their best initiator and playmaker, and he was guarding the centers, like basically all last year in the playoffs because KP was basically out. Like he did that. Like he played 1 and 5, and then still gave you 27 points per game. Like he's just like you clown on Tatum, team, whatever. The versatility thing is kind of long. It's like, oh, he can do this and that just because he doesn't do everything elite, but he's still a great player.
Next name up is going to be Donovan Mitchell.
You give me Anthony Edwards.
Is it my fault?
Better scorer, better defender. Donovan Mitchell is a better playmaker, but in the context of like what Anthony Edwards, I think like his whole offensive package just doesn't overshadow like the completeness of Anthony Edwards as a player.
I believe I had Ant.
You know,
I believe I had Ant in front of D Mitch at the start of the year when we did our rankings. D Book, D Mitch, and Ant I have all very close at the start of the year. And I'm pretty sure I had Anthony Edwards above, and I still have Anthony Edwards. Again, what I've seen from playoffs with him. I think the same things that you say about Tatum. I think Donovan Mitchell is a great basketball player, and I think his role has decreased a little bit just with the evolution of Evan Mobley and kind of how good that Cavs team has been. He's still the same player. He's still the same great player he's always been. His numbers aren't as flashy as everyone else's. But I think what Anthony Edwards has shown me the last 2 postseasons, his rise to fame has been huge. So
I think this is extremely close. I like the general consensus in NBA fans for some reason.
Yeah. Ant fans are like might be the loudest fans in the league right now.
People, I think, with the recency bias for Ant right now, and the general consensus from NBA fans will have this being clearly Ant. I just can't really get with that at all. It's kind of even hard for me to call him a better scorer than Donovan Mitchell, especially from what I've seen from Donovan Mitchell last year. The numbers were down this year, but I don't think his impact was actually down this year. I do think he's a better playmaker. And Anthony Edwards in that regular season.
Where you going with?
I gotta get my stuff out, bro. Anthony Edwards is an overrated defender in the regular season. I gotta say he is. I don't know.
Hey, keep that same energy for the other dude.
I don't know who you're talking about.
You know who we talking about. You know who come on, keep that same energy for him too.
I'm gonna go Ant, but slightly. Like they're like 7 to 8 on my rankings. Like that's how close they are as far as where I have them in the league. It could honestly go either way. This is not like clearly either player, in my opinion, at all. I think people are like really underrate Donovan Mitchell.
You had him.
Where I have him?
You had Mitchell at 10.
Yeah, I think Ant, Brunson, and D Mitchell are all close. Like if I had to put them in a tier, it'd probably be all in the same place, like all in the same tier. Next name up is going to be Luka Doncic.
Luka, I'm not. That's gonna be the running thing for the next year at least until we come back to the playoffs again. The last 7 months has been crazy for Luka. Like the amount of the 180 that's been turned. Like we knew Luka was a bad defender last year. We knew he wasn't a good defender the year before, and the year before that, and the year before that. And nobody ever cared that much because he was just that great of an offensive player. The best player in the league does not play defense. Is not a great defender. So they overvalued. I think like people overvalue that too much, especially coming from the guard position. But he just came up a platform where he took down James Harden. Well, easy first round match or whatever. But he took down Shea in the playoffs. He lit the Timberwolves on fire last year en route to the like in a clean 5 en route to the finals. Like that just happened. And because he got injured and Nico Harrison called him a fat slob, like now it's everybody got so much to say about Luka. Like now the first chance that somebody beat him, yep, he's better than him. No, bro. Like if you did a blind rank of these stats and just put them up, everybody would pick Luka's stats without even knowing. They just assume it's in because he won, but that's just how it was. He for quarters 1 through 3, he's just been amazing. Obviously, he got tired in the 4th. It's cool for Ant. He don't got to really do that much 1 through 3 because he has a better team. But it's not the here nor there. Luka's a better player. I don't think it's close.
Luka.
Okay, I thought you were thinking about it.
There's nothing to think about. I think again, there's an upper echelon of the NBA players right now. I think I probably got 5 guys up there, 4 guys up there, and Luka Doncic is one of those guys.
I'm picking Luka. I think it's clearly Luka. And this is gonna be my whole like a separate thing I'm gonna post for my little TikTok, whatever. You can say I don't care what y'all got to say. But listen, I just hate how people talk about Luka defense and Jokic defense so much differently. Now, granted, Jokic does try a little bit more sometimes, especially in the playoffs. He has moments where he tries, but both of them suck on defense, and it's inherently more valuable for or it's more detrimental for a center to be terrible defensively than the point guard. And the way people talk about him because he gained weight, he got traded for being a terrible defender and all that type of stuff. It's ruined his reputation. I agree with you. But like Luka is still a top 3 to 4 player in this world. He definitely is. People will get amnesia to what he did last year in that finals run. And even still to this day, he is still a top 3 offensive player in the world. He just is. And this Lakers team, it made it look worse, his defense, because yes, he's getting blown by. Yes, he's letting up buckets. But a part of that is they don't have the backline defenders to suffice for that. And the Mavericks did last year. They literally did. They literally did until they saw the Celtics. So it looks worse, yes, when a team is not like actually built around Luka in a good way to help for his deficiencies, and you'll see like it looks much worse. And he's also just injured and in the worst shape of his life, probably. So that's why it looks so bad. But Luka is still a top 3, 4 player in this world, and no, and it's not better than him. Like, let's be serious right now.
I want to say something, and the finals, yes, he was not a great defender in the finals. But they act like they didn't see the offense was bad. Like Luka averaged 5 assists in that finals. When has Luka ever averaged 5 assists like through a playoff series? That just doesn't happen. Clearly, like if you look at everybody else, nobody was making shots. Kyrie was horrible. PJ Washington was PJ Washington. Derrick Jones Jr. couldn't hit a shot. Like they were missing wide open looks. And those games came down to really just like very close, except for the 2 blowouts in that game 3 where Luka imploded, but the teams just weren't making shots. They could have lived with Luka not being a good defender because they all been doing that. If everybody else just made shots, the series would have been a lot closer. People just like to harp on the things that they think matter, and like I understand like this offense and defense, but great offense beats great defense all the time. And like the game is not inherently 2 sides. It's not like 50-50. Like you weigh it, like offense is probably like it's probably really 70-30. Like as long as you can score the basketball, you just have to be average on defense. You can win a championship. Again, we just saw the best player in the world 2 years ago win a championship when they had an average defense, like very average. Everybody else was good on defense except for Jokic, who was average, and they won the championship just because they had the best offense in the league.
Anthony, well, next name up is Kawhi Leonard.
Oh, Anthony Edwards.
I'll say Ant because I know a little bit more what I'm getting from Ant. Kawhi still question mark. Yeah, I'm going with Ant.
Yeah, it's based off all. It's literally all based off all question marks. Like that's just what it is.
It almost makes it not a question.
Is he gonna play great or not? Like playoff Kawhi has came and went like that quickly. Like he had 1 great game 2, and then that's it. or you get 2 great games and he's out. I can't bank on him being like there for us to actually compete. Like he played 30 games. He's kind of shitting himself the last 2 games. Like it's just I know Anthony Edwards is gonna give me 75 plus games a year. I know he's gonna come in with a new skill added. He's gonna be 27 points per game. Now he's a sniper and he rises in the playoffs every year. I think you might as well just go with Ant, especially he's 8 years younger. Like it's just Ant just seems like the most plausible pick.
I'm gonna go Anthony Edwards too. Next name up is Jalen Brunson.
Anthony Edwards. I think
So I had Tatum.
Jalen Brunson is methodical in his scoring. I think overall impact, they pretty much score the same. Anthony Edwards kind of relentless. As defenders, yes, Anthony Edwards is an overvalued defender, but he's still a way better defender than Jalen Brunson. When playmaking department, he's not as good as Jalen Brunson, but Jalen Brunson just took a real playmaking leap this year. It still isn't like all world playmaking. Most of his playmaking come from him drawing fouls and like him collapsing the defense. But Anthony Edwards does the same thing too. And we just seen in the series, he's able to not super consistently, but still be able to hit certain swings and certain passes now. So.
I feel like I've been lower on Jalen Brunson historically, so I'd go with Anthony Edwards on this one.
I'm gonna go with Anthony Edwards slightly. I think Jalen Brunson is the better offensive player. He is. I think it's a slight margin with that too.
Yeah, I don't think it's that big of a gap, man.
But Anthony Edwards is able to raise his defense level in the playoffs when he's locked in. And Brunson is just awful on defense. He really is. And you have to actually hide Brunson on defense a lot of the time. And Anthony Edwards offers you like the value of that you don't gotta hide him. So that's a plus in his own right. And that's it for the Would You Rather. Let's move on. We got a lot more games to talk about. Next up, Hali scores game-winning bucket to end Buck season. This is gonna be the main topic if the Lakers won this game. But yeah, this was a movie. Well, this game was a movie. This series was pretty entertaining for me, even though it was like it was lopsided. Like, bro, Giannis was finna fight Hali dad. The beef between the Bucks and the Pacers is really entertaining. It's really entertaining. I'm not gonna lie.
How you feel? I know this is your hometown. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I'm actually kind of growing on Hali, man. I don't know. I don't know.
I was thinking the same thing too. I thought I was walking up to the house. I'm like, you know what? He lapped Ja crazy. Like, I ain't gonna lie. He's a clean dude. Like, he don't get no trouble. He don't be wiping his nose, nothing.
I'm crying.
Told it. He stood up. He made sure his pops knew. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was like, yeah, he was wrong. Like, he's real mature. Like, he can shoot.
Man. I used to be hating on Hali, but I don't know. I'm just talking about even his overall game. Like, I don't know. I still think it's like kind of gimmicky in the sense like that he plays really safe basketball. He makes the right reads every single time down the court. He makes the right reads. He makes the right play. But I just think because of the team he's on and the system he runs in, he just gets the luxury of not having to make like risk of race reads. Like K can't just go down the court and just pass really quickly, or go go down the court, run this pick and roll, and just like pass it really quickly. Like, he has to create. Like Trey has to make that risk of race pass. He has to do
sides to that. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
One may be true that like the Trey Youngs, the K Cunninghams, even sometimes they were like I feel like they do better than him in that system because they have their own like a better bat, like, you know, a better like self-creation bag to them, so that like it helps for sticky situations. So I like they already have like the same level, like same kind of skill set of, you know, able to, you know, make reads and things like that. And I think they're better like ISO players, but I'm also not going to knock Halliburton from like, you know, running the system to how it's supposed to be run. Like he's probably never going to be 27 and 12. That's probably never going to happen. That's cool. He could be a cool 20 and 10 as long as everybody else is eating, because you got Pascal who's going to give you 20 plus. Any given night, Nembhard can give you 20. Any given night, Nisha going to give you around 15. You got Ben Mathen off the bench that can give you 15. If you got a bunch of double-digit scores, you're going to add up to 110 points easily as long as you got 5 double-digit scores. I think that's fine. They just got to be okay on defense.
Yeah. I'm gonna have Hali somewhere in my top 20. I don't know where he's gonna be at yet. He's definitely gonna be in that top 20. I don't know where yet. Maybe close to 15. I don't know. I gotta really see. Like I'm about to really reevaluate my rankings after this year. But that's the need to hear nor there. I really feel like the Bucks never had a chance in the series. Like when we were doing our predictions, I was like, "There's no way they win this." The Pacers are. I knew they were just a much better team. I'm glad I got this one right. The Pacers are just a much better team. The Bucks have no defenders, like at all. Giannis has even dipped. I've been saying that he dipped as a defender this year, and probably last year too. Letting Hali ice you for game.
That's the thing. He never was a great isolation defender. Like I never in my life said, you know what, for the game, I'm comfortable with Giannis sticking this offensive player one. Like I never thought that. Like that's a different most I guess media and things like that, like TV shows. They think they equate Giannis being a great rim protector for him being a great defender, on ball and things. Like he's just not, especially especially when it comes to passing lane, he's just not that's not his thing. But also he's 6'11". He's supposed to be protecting the ring. We seen the last game from Giannis in a Bucks jersey. He's never going to play for the Bucks again unless he signs a 1-day deal at the end of the career just to retire as a Buck. But it's over with. This series will always ended in 5. Like I said, the Bucks cannot rock with Indiana at all. They haven't run up and down the court. If they do win a game, it's because Giannis went for 50, 15, and 8, whatever it may be. It's not going to happen. He had a great series. He was 35, 15, and 8 or 5 or something like that on great efficiency, and it wasn't enough. Last game, you had 6 threes from A.J. Green. You got another 30 ball from Gary Trent, who also pissed his pants in the last seconds of the game, and you still lost. If you're going to get a 30-point Gary Trent game, you expect the Bucks to win. Just wasn't going to happen. And we was talking about it. Hali, he himself pants was heavy late in the fourth quarter. He missed 3 threes in a row, wasn't doing anything, and then OT came. He lit it. He literally erased himself looking bad in the fourth quarter of the playoff game to basically being the hero and coming out on top against Giannis, looking even better in the media through the whole dad fiasco and things like that. I think he just put a stamp in. We could pretty much say Indiana's going to be not a contender, but they're going to be a perennial playoff team as long as him and Pascal and Ricardo are there. They're just a staple in the playoffs. I think their floor pretty much is always going to be second ranked.
Yeah. To get on a serious note, this team has been a top 10 team since the start of the new year. The last 40, 50 games or so, the Indiana has been a really dangerous team. I think they're going to present a challenge to the Cavs. I do have the Cavs winning that series going forward, but they can probably win 2 games, maybe push to 7 in that series. They're just a really talented offensive team. Since January 1st, I believe they're a top. Let's see where their defense ranks. They are top 10 defense since the start of the new year. This team is just really good, and I knew that coming into the series. That's why I picked them to beat the Bucks. And we also thought that Dame wasn't going to really play. But even if Dame played in this series, they were not winning the series. The Pacers were just too talented, more talented than the Bucks. And Giannis had an amazing series. He was extremely dominant, and it was nowhere near close to enough. You got 2 games of Gary Trent playing like Steph Curry, and it just wasn't enough. Brook Lopez wasn't even able to play in this series. Got run off the floor. Kyle Kuzma, one of the worst trades in NBA history. Don't know why they did that. And that was pretty much it. I mean, Rick Carlisle's coach circles around Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers didn't make a lineup change to game 5. Like, what were you doing? Like he didn't change the starting lineup to game 5. I don't know what, Doc Rivers, terrible coach. I don't know why he keeps getting NBA jobs. We see this every single year.
He won a championship in 2008.
Yeah, I was 4 in 2008. I'm about to be 22 next year. This is ridiculous. Nah, bro. And I don't want him leading the rebuild. If they're going to rebuild, he shouldn't be leading it. To be honest, he's not no crazy developer or talent or nothing like that. Max, you picked the Bucks in 7, I think, in a series or 6. One of those. What's your thoughts on the series after it's over?
I needed my upset pick. No, the Bucks just are terrible. Yeah, the Bucks were so bad this series.
You knew that.
Yeah, like again, I needed one upset pick. Give me one upset pick, and I was gonna say go with Giannis. I think I can't lie. Like I feel like being an Indiana fan would suck right now, just for the simple fact where it's like you are so good, but it's gonna be so tough to get to that next level to where you are actually a contender. I still don't see Indiana as contenders. They're playing great basketball right now on both sides of the floor. They just dominated Milwaukee, but I still don't see them. Latif, maybe they do beat your Cavs, but I don't think there's a world where they beat your Cavs and then they beat Boston.
Don't get too much different your chip. Not too
If
much.
you think go set, if you think go 7, you think there's a chance they lose.
I don't think it goes 7.
I'm just saying. You said there's a chance they go 7. You said they could push 7, which means there's a chance they could lose. I'm just saying. I don't think this Indiana team is good enough to win 3 straight series. And again, I like Indiana, but I just don't think that they're in a world where they can do that. And we'll talk about it once their season comes to an end. But this team is very good right now, but I will be beyond curious to see how they can improve on the margins. With that being said, though, again, they're very efficient. They have so many guys who can shoot the 3 and defend. Miles Turner's been there through it all. Hali's finally getting back up to that level. Like, they just have a lot of dudes on that team. But at the same time, it's like I'm looking forward to the offseason because, again, I've been wrong before, but I really don't think there's a world where, one, they beat Cleveland, but then they go and beat Boston the next round. And I will be beyond curious to see how this team improves on the margin without losing what got them to the situation.
All right. So obviously not obviously. We think that was Giannis's last game as a.
I have one quick question. Sorry, one quick question. Would you rather be the owner of Phoenix or Milwaukee right now?
I'd rather be Phoenix.
Milwaukee.
I agree.
Milwaukee.
I'll say Phoenix as well.
Why?
Because you only have Giannis. I can trade KD. I can trade.
You're gonna get 5 first-round picks for Giannis. You're gonna potentially get 6 and a bunch of players for Kevin Durant and Debo.
And you could sell off some of the other pieces too. Some of the other like cheaper pieces. I think you can still sell off for something. I think, and Phoenix is, I think, a more attractive destination to be at than Milwaukee. So,
I would rather be Milwaukee because
what are you doing with Dame?
he's gonna get traded too when he come back. I mean,
That's what I'm saying. When he comes back, that's in a year.
36-year-old coming off an Achilles.
Like the only guy with any relative value on your team is Giannis, and that's it. Like, you're not getting anything for Kuzma. You're getting nothing for Dame. Gary Trent's not going to get you anything. He's not getting, like, they don't have any other things that are valuable.
If the trade, value goes down, and if he picks spots, value especially goes down more. So it's like if he says he only wants Houston, OKC, Spurs, or Knicks, say it's those 4. All right. Now I know he wanted to come to me. I ain't got an offer. I'm really only fighting with the other teams. And at some point, OKC probably is going to say no. Houston, depending on how much you ask for, is probably going to say no. You probably could get the deal done easily easier with Houston, because you can give them a Sengun or Jalen Green a bunch of picks. That's if Milwaukee wants Jalen Green. Whatever. I know the league probably thinks he's electric and super talented. He's not that great of a player.
I was completely right on Jalen Green. I was completely right on him.
I feel like most smart people are right on Jalen Green. It's just
Max. Do you see what I sent in the group chat?
Yes.
Those old videos. Like,
I was not part of them, was I?
No, you were. I was completely right on him. Like,
well, I just didn't think what JD said. He's got all NBA potential, and we obviously know that NBA All-Star by Jaden. We know that one.
Yeah. All right. Let's pick the best landing spots for Giannis Antetokounmpo. So what's the best landing spot for Giannis in the sense that it works for the Bucks and for Giannis? And if this is going to obviously be a TikTok, so make it concise, please. And also, if someone picks your pick, pick another team.
Say, can I go first with mine? Mine's pretty easy. I think where it would make sense for both sides, and I'll go with Oklahoma City, obviously. I think they have the most picks, most assets to trade. I think that Milwaukee could go a variety of different directions with what they want. If they want a young player, Jalen Williams could be on there. They could get a guy like Hartenstein. They could get a bunch of young pieces. They could get a shit ton of picks. There are so many different ways that Milwaukee could take valuable assets from OKC. On OKC side, I saw a comment about maybe Giannis on a ring chase. I don't think Giannis would really care. If Giannis, Shea, Chet are on a team together, and again, we have a plethora of talent right now. If we give up whoever, we still have. If we give up Lou Dort, we still have Kaysen. We have Caruso. If we give up shooting here, again, shooting is a little bit of a premium for us. We have other options and other ways to get it, and we still have more draft picks to keep on drafting. So having Topic, having Hartenstein, having J-Dub, having Kaysen, having whoever you want picks in this year's draft as well, especially if we can luck out and get Philly's pick, I think there's a really, really good chance that we have the best package to go get Giannis and also be the most competitive with Giannis on our team.
Q? No, go ahead.
I say the best spot of the Spurs. I wasn't gonna say it. I thought you was gonna. I'm gonna let you go get it, but I think the Spurs easily. In this era right now, we see a lot of teams got the double big, so it's like spacing isn't like too much of an issue. I don't think to me. So you can run Wemby and Giannis, and I think you pretty much have a top 10 defense. Castle, Keldon Johnson, and a bunch of picks. You don't even have to give up the Spurs picks. Obviously, they're not going to be that valuable because you got Giannis, but you can give up 5 first-round picks that come from Dallas in like 2030. You get Atlanta, 2 Atlanta picks. You get a Chicago pick. You give up a Timberwolves pick. You give up a whole bunch of picks that aren't yours. Then you have basically a 3-headed monster of De'Aaron Fox, Giannis, and Wemby. I think that's enough to get you to minimum top 4 seed, minimum second round of. I think their floor is the second round of playoffs. I think you would pencil them in Western Conference Finals immediately if that does happen, battling OKC, and I think that'd be good for the next 4 years as long as Giannis is dominant for those 4 years, stretch until he's like 34, and then after that you still got Wemby at like 25 years old, really just in his prime. He's probably going to be a way better player, and then you just go from there. But in the immediate, you ready to compete. You got a top 5 player in the world. You got another top 10 player in the world, basically on your team. I think that's a great spot to go. And it's Texas. You ain't got no state tax.
I think the team that works probably best for both parties is probably Houston, because the Bucks don't have their picks. So they have no incentive to be bad. They can't actually like tank or nothing like that. So they're probably going to want young players and players that can actually help them be like decent pretty soon. So I would probably try and for the record, no one is off the table for Houston. I think I saw a report that they're going to keep Amin off the table. I would put everybody on the table for Giannis Antetokounmpo. And I get a sense of like you want to get Giannis and pair him with a star, and get Giannis and pair him with like good talent around him, which is understandable. But you're gonna have to probably give up a premium asset for Giannis, unless you're. I think maybe like. Jalen Green. I guess.
Especially if they're in a bidding war. Houston, I think OKC has the best package, but Houston definitely has assets that they could flip. I think they'd have to
like
super valuable.
I'm just saying, I think we have players.
You get a higher level player back in the draft, whether
that's what I'm saying. I think you know what I'm saying?
Get an all-star level player no matter what.
Like let's say OKC lucks out and we get 8 this year. Like you got 8, you got like 15, and you got J-Dub. You add whatever else you want, and I think that's a better package.
Yeah, I think Houston has. They can actually offer them like young players and players that are ready to contribute now, and plus picks. Take your pick of a few of their young players, a few of their more impactful players and ship them off, and then like 4 first-round picks. But I think Houston, with their defense, with their quality of role players, they need to add some more shooting. But they can compete for championships in the near future if they do it right. But honestly, I think Giannis is probably trying to stay in the East. It's just I don't think there's no teams in the East that actually have like if you trade for him, they'll be a contender. To be honest.
I keep seeing like, oh, he should go here, Like they threw out Indiana. Like, how is Indiana going to get Giannis?
The spot.
Yeah, but then that you're picking of who you're trading.
You get the money. The money itself cancel out once you use Cat. Use Cat in that trade, and then you throw in. You want to go Cat, Josh Hart, and the rest of their whatever picks they have, and some other filler. You'll be fine. Obviously, they're going to ask for one more player. Like Mikel or OG has to stay. One of those two has to stay.
Is there a way you could do it without Cat and put in someone else?
OG.
Yeah, it'd be OG, like, Josh Hart, Deuce McBride.
You know what I'm saying? Like that looks a lot more attractive to the Knicks because they could keep. You can kind of hopefully counteract Cat's terrible defensive.
For real, it'd be I'd do OG, Mitchell Robinson.
Like if I'm a Knicks fan, I love that much more. If we can overpay on picks to get whatever, but you gave 5 first-round picks.
I don't think they can't overpay on picks. I don't know that's a possibility.
I'm just saying they have their own 5 first-round picks to fucking Brooklyn. They gave 5 first-round
picks. They give up a lot of everybody else's picks. They have their own picks though.
Okay.
They have their own in 2026. They have Washington's pick in 2026, but it's protected 1 through 10, and then they have their own in 2028. But they don't have
like OG, Josh Hart, Miles McBride.
They can't trade 2028 because they don't got their own in 2021. I mean 2027. And then they got their own in 2030.
They'd have to go in a bunch of swaps. They'd have to get some swaps out.
Yeah, I don't think they can trade 2027 or 2030.
So if you did OG, Josh Hart, Miles McBride, 2 picks and 3 swaps or 2 swaps or some shit, I just don't even know if that looks that good.
Yes, don't.
That's not attractive for Milwaukee.
Like
you're looking at OG, like if you have OG, Josh Hart, you're looking like, okay, now we need the star to go with these.
Let's go get Giannis.
You know what I'm saying? You still need a star, and then
yes, trust me. I think other teams.
What you getting for Dame? You're not giving up a first. I'm not trading a first-round pick for a 36-year-old coming off of Achilles. I'm not doing it.
Like I think I've seen stuff for Orlando, and I think like getting Franz back in a trade is way more attractive than anything that would be surrounded on OG.
Let's move on to the next series. Jamal Murrayd has a vintage playoff performance. Drops 43 points to take a 3-2 lead over the Clippers, and give the Clippers, the Nuggets, the upper hand in the series. Man, what do we see in this game? Jokic only had 11 points. I think
it started off. It was Westbrook. Westbrook in the first half pulled out one of those high-end Westbrook games, hitting threes. I think he had back-to-back threes. He was hustling, rebounding, playing defense. Like he started off, and I think Jamal Murray just took it home. This is one of those games where, like, if you told the Clippers ahead of this, like before the game started, that Jokic was only going to have 13 points, they would have signed up for that immediately. But they didn't know it was going to come with James Harden having more turnovers than made field goals. They didn't know. Like, you would think, like, oh, Kawhi I think he had like 11 assists. If Kawhi has 11 assists, that's not a good game for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, his value is him being an uber efficient, one-on-one ISO scorer. Him having 11 assists doesn't make him good that day. That just means he got the ball out of his hands. He ain't really, asserted dominance, get to the foul line, whatever it may be. Overall, it was just a complete, team effort in the guard position for the Nuggets. Jokic didn't have to do too much. They got taking home 55 points in their backcourt, something like that. So the Clippers, the last 2 games, their best players have not been showing up. I think that has something to do with it. And if Kawhi and James Harden ain't going to show up, there's nobody on the rest of that team that's going to be help out in the aggregate to even make it a close game. So they got stuck in a hard rut. I think that game winner, last second game winner dunk by Eric Gordon kind of like took some some momentum out of them, had them feeling bad because if they win that game, they feel very comfortable, for the rest of the series because now Denver's really in a hole, but let them get 2 games back to back, and now the Clippers got to fight for their life, and they're gonna have to see a game 7 on the Nuggets floor if they even make it that far, and that's a tall hill to climb.
Give me a game 7. I think it's going 7. This series has been fun to watch for sure so far, but best believe if Denver wins, Jamal Murray is not dropping 43 on us. He's getting clamped.
Yeah, man. I mean, I really felt like coming into the series that the Clippers were the much better team. I was very confident in them winning the series of 6. Obviously, it's not going to happen anymore. Honestly, I think they are a better team. I just think Harden and Kawhi have just underperformed. They just have. They went like 18-3 over the last 21 games. The Clippers were an elite team in the year. And I don't want to say they tricked me, but I really thought Kawhi and Harden would perform better than this against this Denver defense. Major credit to the Denver defense. Kawhi can't handle a double team in year 15. I don't know what he's like 34, 33, whatever. Can't handle a double team. Ridiculous. Harden, I don't know what's going on with him. He just like I hate to use a playoff dropper thing because it's not like it's only sometimes you don't be basing anything basketball related, but like it seems like as soon as the stakes get high for Harden, he folds a lot.
Now because it's the first round. The Harden playoff dropping doesn't happen in the first. We never seen it in the first round. I don't think. Like that's the problem. Like I expect Harden to not be a great playoff performer, but I don't expect him not to be a great playoff performer in the first round. Where in most circumstances, first round series should be easy, depending on what your seed is and what the team is. But they got one of the worst draws and facing Jokic and the Nuggets. It's like,
I feel like he would be able to get to the rim against Nikola Jokic's defense. I feel like he would be able to really thrive in the pick and roll against the Denver's point of attack defense. And it just hasn't happened. He had a really good game in game 1. He's had moments in the series where he played really well. I think it's maybe has been his assertiveness. I don't really have the answer right now for why he's struggled since game 1 in the series. Maybe he's trying to defer to Kawhi a little bit, but when James Harden is on, the Clippers really look unstoppable. When he was for the last 25 games of the season, I do think it's a chance that they go home into it and get a win, but it's going to be very difficult, very very difficult to win the series. But I still think the Clippers can do it for sure. They got to win 2 straight. How they done it in the series? I don't think so. I think they went up 2. I think they went up 2-1, right?
Yeah, because they won game. No, they won game 1. No, the Nuggets won game 1.
Nuggets won game 1.
It went 1-1.
And then
the Clippers won back to back.
Yeah, they did. Okay,
it
happened able to do it. But Kawhi and Harden have to show up. They just have to. They've been lackluster for the last few games. And I feel like that game winning dunk from Aaron Gordon was just a really bad break for them. They were having recovered since then, and especially last night. They came out really flat. Jamal Murray was having his way. Russell Westbrook was having a really good game. He's had back-to-back good games in this series. Some really good moments in this play. Oh, I think he actually missed the last game, but he's had really good moments in the series. Jokic wasn't scoring it at a high level, but he was still making really plays on offense as far as passing the ball in this game. I don't think Ty Lue had his best coaching series, honestly, especially when you consider that the coaching he's going up against is David Adelman too. But yeah, we got a few more series to talk about. The Pistons gutted out a win against the Knicks to take the series back to Detroit. The Knicks lead 3-2. The Pistons are trying to come back from 3-1. I mean, this was an ugly game. A really ugly game from both teams. It's been an ugly series, but it's been super entertaining to watch. Super physical, and a lot of the games that came down to the wire. So this series has not been as it was. The Knicks were up 3-1. But this series has been super close. A lot of games that came down to the wire, big shots down the stretch, and the Pistons turning it over down the stretch, or the Knicks making big plays down the stretch. In this game, Asar Thompson had a hell of a game, his best of his playoff career. Cade struggled to start the game, but in that third quarter, he really got it going. And I think he played well in the fourth too, especially against the free throw line. Doran had another good game in the series. He's been up and down, but he's had some really strong performances. And yeah, I think Brunson struggled in this game a little bit, but this series is just showing me what the Pistons need more. They need more secondary creation. They need more depth. The shooting on the team is still awful, but it's been an entertaining series. What would y'all take on this game? And do y'all think the Pistons can come back in the series?
They'd have to win. Obviously, they have to win at home. Game 6. They haven't won a playoff game at home since 2008 when Chauncey Billups was playing there. I think it's in 5 games. So that's what about 200 something minutes? Let's say it's 250 minutes, something like that. Then the Pistons have outplayed the Knicks in like 235 of those 250 minutes that they played. It comes down to the last 3 minutes of the game where it's like 90-90 and Jalen Brunson being the clutch player. He just him and Cat down the stretch is just unreal shot making, and that's how they lost most of the games. But all these games come down pretty much to the wire, and there's obviously talent is just gonna usually come through, especially to a team that's not as talented as the Detroit Pistons. Like Mikal Bridges, obviously, would be the second best player on the Pistons. And got OG, got Cat and Brunson. Like I said, they're making unreal shots. Like that's just what it was in the clutch. It took like some strategy, some dumb luck with Tom Thibodeau not calling a timeout, players, not doing like the smart side of the thing, kicking a ball out to get a stoppage, a little quick foul. They had a foul to give, quick foul just to get your best player back on the court to have a chance to win it down the stretch. That didn't happen. They foul up 3, so that way obviously they can't make a 3. Still be down 1, have to foul again, play the free throw game, whatever it may be. This is the Pistons. I don't care about not being fun basketball. This is a young team, first time to play. They're doing whatever it takes to win, whatever it may be. I think the talent is just coming through because, like I said, the Pistons have outplayed the Knicks pretty much this whole series, and that's just off of pure grit. And that's still not to mention like all these players pretty much their first time in the playoffs outside of like Tim Hardaway Jr., Dennis Schroeder, and Tobias Harris. Everybody else is pretty much new to the team. And those aren't the players that you should be, wanting to go to war with as your second, third, fourth guy. But they've been holding it down. I think they can win a game back at home, but they're definitely not winning that game 7 in the Garden. So, I mean, it was fun. Caden did pretty well, if you ask me, in his first playoffs. Whoever comes out this series is just going to get backhanded by the Celtics no matter what anyway. So it's like you win to lose. But it's a good thing if Detroit wins, a bad thing if the Knicks lose. So it's like only one team really is a winner in this situation.
The Knicks needed to get out this round like pretty quickly, especially since they got Boston coming up next. They needed to get out of this round cleanly, and they have not at all. They have sustained injuries. It's been a long, fought, grueling series. They haven't played their best at all. So this was a disaster series for the Knicks. You needed to get out of this cleanly in like 5 games. And Detroit has made it super hard for them with some really good defense. And they made it super tough. And so salute to Detroit for that for sure. Because the Knicks are going to be bruised and battered going up against Boston, who have time to rest after dealing with the Magic. So, yeah. Max, what do you think, man?
I definitely think Detroit can win a game, and I think I'd give them a chance in the Garden, but the NBA wants New York to win that. So the fouling thing obviously has been big this series. I'm not going to touch on that. I don't really care. But I mean, no, I think I agree. I think Detroit's definitely got some building blocks moving forward. I think the idea that there's only one winner in this series is very true. Detroit could lose in 5. They could lose in 7. Doesn't matter. New York would be the one who was the loser at the end of the day. So I think as far as being a Pistons fan, like if you're looking at this year, it's already been a success with what you've done. You know where you have to go going forward. Um, Watching these games and seeing Tim Hardaway Jr. hit a big shot, Dennis Schroeder getting a big stop, Tobias Harris play well, whatever. Like, is it what you want going forward? No, but it's great to see. You get those pieces moving forward. Maybe next year, if you can get a Devin Booker, if he becomes available, you know you have some role players who are going to be there and help you out when it gets you need people to score the basketball, play defense, whatever. Um, this team's young, so someone's got to develop. Someone's got to figure out who that second star is going to be, or you got to go trade for it. I really think this team's interesting going forward. Is Cade the one, or is Cade going to be like a 1A, 1B? I don't know. Um, but I think, yeah, New York has been shaky. I think they've definitely fallen under kind of the grit and grind of this Detroit team.
All right, Celtics handled Magic in 5. We thought it was gonna be a sweep, but shout out to
The next series, bro, this is fine. This was like the most unwatched series. I don't think I watched a single minute of the series.
oh wow,
I'll be so honest. I'm sorry. I did not care. I watched the Cavs and Heat. Everything. I did not watch the series, and I like Paolo. Paolo obviously did his, but this series was just like I don't know. I never had any belief in Orlando.
Yeah, I watched every minute of it. I tell you what, I do not like watching Orlando basketball. I just don't like it. It's not. It's just not good. I do think, obviously, if with the requisite time and like learning how to shoot the basketball from Franz Apollo, like if and with some help from their GM who's failed to make like actual real moves in places of need that are clearly needed, like in the backcourt and in the center spot. Uh, if you could build some roster that kind of resembles the Boston Celtics, this Paolo and Franz can be dangerous. It's a slim to none like chance that's happening. So like obviously one has to go. It's gonna be Franz if they do make some type of mega trade. But they just need perimeter shot creation and playmaking. Um, like I said, I'd like a better center. Doesn't have to be the Miles Turner type center, which is a free agent that might work. That might be a good thing. Don't Not really a great defender. He's just a shot blocker, but get a vertical space in there too could help too. They just got to do some major roster changes. The countless swings on the guards aren't working. Just because you got a bunch of first round picks doesn't mean those first round picks don't mean anything. Because if you're spending them on Jet Howard and my guy Anthony Black, I like Anthony Black. It's not working. Uh, Celtics, they're cooling. They did suffer like a couple of little injuries here and there. They wish they had those back. Could have rested a couple people. I still think they could probably make it out the next series without one of the Jays. Uh, this was really a series about the Orlando Magic and what they need to do in the offseason, not really about the Celtics because we already knew they were going to come out this series.
I'm not really high on this Magic duo of Franz Wagner and Paulo Banchero. I don't really think they fit the best at all. I think both of them, at their best, need the ball in their hand. I don't think neither are great off-ball players, especially Franz. But the Magic have to do their due diligence and build a competent roster with spacing, shot creation, and defense if they can, which is very hard to do around these two players because they are talented. They have got you to back-to-back playoff appearances, and they have won games in the playoffs. So you have to like give it a shot. Do I think it's going to work? No, as far as like winning a championship, but you have to give it a shot. But that's really the goal. You have to look around the league and try to build a competent roster around Franz and Paulo because what it is right now is terrible. You also, I think, have to explore getting a better head coach for these players too to make them work offensively. But ultimately, I don't think their skill sets really complement each other at all. To be honest, maybe I'm being a little bit too. Maybe I'm being a little. Maybe I'm being too premature when I say that. Because that's kind of the stuff they said about Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. But for me, this feels like I'm more confident in like this is not going to work at the highest level, especially if Franz don't fix his jump shot, because that shit is ridiculous. Like I don't know how he shot 35% from three his first year in the league, and he was at 29% last year, and I think 30% this year. So he just needs to stop shooting until he fixes it, honestly. But yeah, I want to say the Magic have a bright future, but I really don't believe that. In a sense, like I don't really think they're going to be competing for championships with Franz and Paulo. I just don't think that's going to happen. They could. They could. They got a lot of work to do as far as building around this roster. But I think they're going to come to the conclusion that one day that these two players don't fit next to each other. Yeah. So I mean, obviously, don't look to trade them like anytime soon, but like eventually, I think that's what we're going to get. I think the Celtics would have wanted to end the series a little bit earlier. In that first half of Game 5, they really struggled offensively. But I think the Mavericks can present defensive issues that not many other teams can, and then they just got hot from three like they usually do in the second half and blew them out. But hopefully Jason Tatum is healthy and Jaylen Brown is also dealing with injury. Kristaps Porzingis is banged up, so they took a few bruises. Also, Drew Holiday was out for a part of the series too. They took a few bruises, which could be relevant going forward. But we all knew the Celtics were going to win the series, so we don't have to spend a lot of time on it. Cavs stumped the Heat. I want to get this over with, this series over with too, because it was pretty. The series was open and shut, to be honest. I didn't think the Heat was going to pose a threat to the Cavs at all, and that's what happened. But I do want to say that was some embarrassing shit from the Heat. That was embarrassing to lose by damn near 60 at home. Now that is ridiculous. Without Darius Garland, that is ridiculous. I don't know where the Heat go from here, honestly, because I don't know what they can do to actually build a contender. But first, they need to fire Pat Riley, or try to have like a mutual partner ways. He is not good at his job. I'm sorry. This team,
What'd you say?
Pat Riley.
Oh yeah, that's not happening, bro.
They need to do it.
Great idea.
They need to do it. Listen, this team has been treading waters for years. They had a few years where they overachieved, but they have not really been a great team in a long time, like for a very long time. Jimmy had some runs where he elevated his team, but there is nobody on this roster that can be the second best player on the championship team. There's no one. There's no one on this roster that can be the second best player on the championship team. I'm being that serious. Bam, we are in year 3 of you being barely at league average efficiency or below it, and you're a center or you're a power forward. That is disgusting.
If it was Luka, he'd be the second best player on the championship team.
We got to see. That is disgusting. Bam Adebayo. Like, that's disgusting. He needs to rework his offensive game. But it will be easier if he had an actual point guard. It will be easier. I will say that. Tyler Hero, he's a good player. That's all I can say. He's probably a 6-man if we're being serious.
He's a 6-man of the year. Like that's what he's like. That's him.
What they displayed in Game 4, that was some embarrassing shit, bro. It really was. It like losing by 55. That's ridiculous. But I can't say they were a 37-win team. They were supposed to lose by a lot. But what I want to emphasize is the problem with the Miami Heat is they won't bottom out. Y'all just won't be bad. Like y'all are the Steelers. Y'all are the Steelers of the NBA. Like literally right now, y'all are the Steelers of the NBA. I'm gonna get pushback on that because they made the finals twice. Sure, okay.
No. You can say that. It's easier to make I'd say it's probably easier to make the finals than it is to make a Super Bowl. Like
yeah, probably.
You know what I'm saying?
Y'all had the opportunity to get y'all draft pick or make the play-in. Y'all chose to make the play-in in the playoffs. And that's the problem with the Heat right now. Y'all don't want to bottom out and reset because Bam Adebayo is not going to be a best player on the championship team. Neither is Tyler Hero. Y'all keep striking out on trades. You're probably not getting Giannis. Even if you get KD, he's not leading you to a championship. with all due respect. So I mean, like the Heat they kind of like they stuck for me. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, the issue is I feel like Heat culture is like this new term. Like I've been watching the Miami Heat play Nashville for years. This Heat culture thing just popped like that. That just became a term 4 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody was ever talking about Heat culture. The only ever success they really ever had was having a two top 10 players. Like every time they won a championship, they had two top 10 players. Whether Shaq was top 10 or not in 2006, we could throw it up in the air, but it's safe to say he was probably a top 10 player in 2006. D Wade probably wasn't, but he had one of the 5 best finals runs finals appearances that I've seen. Then you had LeBron and D Wade, you had LeBron and D Wade again. Like after that, outside of those years, they're first round exit teams, maybe sometime get a second round. Get fooled with some magical runs with Jimmy Butler where everything gets right. Like you out coached, you out hustled, and you outplayed clearly drastically more talented teams. Doing that is not sustainable. Yeah, it looked good because you did it twice in a 4-year time span, but it's like that type of luck just doesn't happen all the time. You can't keep banking on you finding this undrafted dude out of whatever, and he's coming on your team and he's playing quality rotational minutes, and then you think he's good. Like you can just keep doing that. You keep being a factory for these random dudes when clearly those random dudes aren't supposed to be in the NBA because you see them go to other teams and not really be on nothing. Shout out to Max Strus. He's doing his thing, but you know what I'm saying? Dave Davis ain't on nothing. Like you feel me? I don't care. The Larson dude, he's not gonna be nothing nowhere else. Jovic probably not gonna be nobody nowhere else. Only players on that team that I feel confident as like their ability to be very important parts of teams are Tyler Hero, Bam, and the jury's out of Kelly, but I believe in Kelly to be a solid NBA player. Other than that, they don't really got nothing going for them. They don't really got picks to really be about. Nobody wants to deal with Pat Riley nonsense. This is not 1990. Nobody care. Eric Spoelstra is a good coach, but you got to start. You got to do right by your coach at least and get him some real players. You can't just keep giving him these dudes that you picking up off the street. I think the whole Miami Heat facade thing it's finally come to an end. I think they got to make some major moves. Whether that's Pat Riley somehow getting a boot and bringing in some fresh eyes, because sometimes that's what you need. Especially these organizations that are always within their big families. They only do what they know. You kind of need fresh eyes. You can't just keep looking at within because things like messages get stale, things get dry. And if everybody has the same process, you might as well the results are always going to be the same. You need somebody to change what's going on there, whether that be a real big swing or just changing some things around the front office. But things have to change for them to actually even be good. You take it away from the Cavs. The Cavs was always going to whoop these dudes out. Not to be funny, like it was looked kind of tough. I thought it was going to be that just like nip and tuck, but obviously the Cavs were going to win every game. That was embarrassing. It was a little back and forth. They started talking about DG. Tyler Hero talking about they ain't gonna lose lose 4-0. They got beat by 55. Like it's they got too much the Heat just got too much bravado in themselves that like they forgot y'all not that good. Y'all won 37 games, bro. And you could blame it on Jimmy not being there, but they probably wasn't gonna win 50 games either.
I can't wait till we rank players, bro. Because I don't know where I'm gonna have Bam. 3 straight years of
Bam like 30. You like 30.
He's probably like 30. He's probably like 30, 35. I ain't gonna lie. I had him top 20 I had him top 20 in the past.
He was
years.
right on the he was like he could be 18, he could be 23, but he's right there. He's like 30 clean.
Yeah, he losing me. I ain't gonna lie. And hey.
So Julius Randle or Bam right now.
Huh?
That's a Julius Randle or Bam right now. The Julius Randle we just seen. Playoff Julius Randle.
I'll probably still take Bam. I'm not gonna lie. Well, I don't know. No, I'll probably still take Bam. I ain't gonna lie. Evan Mobley or Bam?
Evan Mobley.
Okay, I'm just making sure we're on the same page.
Come on,
definitely Evan Mobley. Max, any thoughts on the series, man?
I mean, you guys said it all. I think like Cleveland walked them, but that's not the story of the series. I think we all knew they win. The story of the series is Miami, and they'll be so whatever resistant to change. Think they can get Giannis, think they can get whoever, and shit's not going to change. So
Yeah, I think it's gonna come off disrespectful because like we're not talking about the Cavs as a team. We're not talking about Boston as a team because it's like, and
yeah,
it's a detriment for them, like because they were just that good that we already knew they were gonna literally whoop whoever they played. It didn't matter. And it's like I feel like we're doing an injustice not breaking it down, but it's nothing really much to break down. DG ain't played 2 games. They got whooped.
point differential was like plus
He
120, right?
X amount of rest. He coming back. Got a nice series with Indiana. I think that goes 6. Offense, shootout, whatever it may be. Things could happen in that series. So you're gonna need everybody fresh.
Let's see when that series starts because we do got to do predictions.
It might start Saturday. Because they don't wait till all the rounds finish to start the next round. They'll start round 2 immediately.
It's on Sunday.
Yeah. So I just feel
I would say though,
but
if the Cavs are playing like this, they can challenge the Celtics. They definitely can. If they're clicking on all cylinders like this, offensively, moving the ball really quickly, hitting their threes, getting out in transition, they can challenge any team in the league. Honestly, when the Cavs are on the level they played against the Heat in those last 2 games, they can challenge anybody. I think they just had the record for the highest offensive rating or something like that in the entire in NBA history as far as like a series. So they are on some historic shit offensively this year. So I think just based off that they can give anyone a challenge for sure.
And if
So
Boston isn't healthy, if somebody comes to that season, if one of those like those 4 main players comes to that series like a little hobbled, it's even more credence to say like Cavs at 7. The Cavs at 7 shouldn't be like a crazy take because it's like they played each other at a standstill all season. Obviously, not everybody was there for every matchup, but like both sides were missing pieces and they pretty much played deadlocked. So I think like going to that series, especially if like Boston they get somebody injured by accident or something like that, because you're playing the Knicks, they're gonna play hard. If you play the Pistons they're gonna lose all 4 games, but you're gonna get beat up all 4 games. It was like things are too much to chance. And not that like Indiana's a soft team or something like that, but they're running and gunning. They're not like a great defensive team. So like it's less avenues for like those ticky tack like type bumps and little bruises to happen in that series. Like if Boston goes to that series hurt or somebody's like hobbled or something like that, I'm definitely picking the Cavs.
All right, that's gonna do it for episode 143, man. Make sure you guys like the video, share the video, and if you made this far, hit the subscribe button. It's 1:23 in the morning, and we getting this content out for you guys. So, if you appreciate that, make sure you follow the channel, follow us on our social media platforms, and we are out.